All right, greetings once more. Today we'll be looking at data validations in Excel. What is data validation? Data validation is a feature in Excel that allows you to control what users can enter into a cell. It ensures data consistency, fewer errors, and also reliable analysis to ensure that we have the expected data, dependable data. All right. So why is data validation important? Why it's important is because number one, it prevents incorrect or inconsistent entries, ensures data follows defined rules, reduces manual corrections and rework, improves reliability of reports and dashboards. So think of it as setting rules for your data before errors happen. All right, it helps us to prevent errors while entries are being made on Excel. Okay. So let's say, for example, we can say, for example, age cannot be negative. You can put that rule. You can put a rule that says that scores must fall between 0 to 100. You can also put a rule that says that status must be active or inactive. So it kind of forces users to enter correct data instead of making unnecessary mistakes. All right. So apply data validation. The steps you take to actually apply data validation in Excel is, let me expand this. So you can just go to under data. All right. You can see this icon here. It speaks to data validation. You click on it. So here you have different rules. We have you can set validation for whole numbers, decimal list, date, time, text, and also maybe a custom validation that you want to set. All right. So before we get to it, of course, we'll be doing some practical sessions for us to actually understand how data validation works in Excel. And to be able to do that, so let's try to restrict data validation for age. We also do for score, and I also try to create a drop-down list. All right, and we also do a validation for text, so that to restrict a particular type of text to be entered. All right, so let's start with age restriction. So I'm gonna grab this table. I'll copy it with Ctrl C. I'll go to Excel and drop with Ctrl V. So here I'll try to set a rule for us to ensure that users enter a correct age on this age cell. All right. So to do that, I can highlight these two cells I want to set data validation for. I'll go to data validation, and I'll go to this, and I'll select whole numbers. After selecting whole numbers, I can say number must be greater than. I can use greater than for now. It must be greater than 0. So anything that is less than 0 should not be accepted. So the error, we can set the error message to be invalid age. Age, you can put a message, age must be greater than 0. All right. So this is just a simple data validation message. So I'll just click OK. All right. So here, if I come here and trying to enter -1, I should be seeing error that says invalid age. That age must be greater than 0. That's what data validation does for you. But if I enter something like 10, you can see that will fly. All right. Something like 20, that will fly. So that's data validation for age. All right. So the next thing we also try to look at is setting data validation for scores. So here, we want to accept scores that are between 0 to 100. So anything outside that will not be accepted. So I'm going to quickly grab this again. I'll come here and drop it here on Excel for scores. Then to set the validation rules, I can just do that by highlighting these two cells I want to set the validation for. Go to data validation. Under settings, I'll say I'll choose whole numbers. Here I'm looking at whole numbers between I'm looking at whole numbers, or I can do decimal as the case may be, because I know that some people might score maybe points, let's say. So I'm looking at minimum being 0 and maximum being 100. So anything outside here should not be accepted. I'll click OK. So here, if I type something like 120, there's going to be an error that it doesn't match the data validation restrictions. And you can also set a message just the way we did for age the other time. All right, you can also do that by just highlighting those cells again and go to data validation, go to error alerts, and say maybe we'll set it to the invalid score. All right, I can put a message that says score must be between 0 to 100. This is just to guide users to be able to understand why the entries are being rejected. All right. So next time if I type, let's say 120 again, so we get a more specific message that says scores must be between 0 to 100. So this is the importance of data validation. But if I put something like 80, of course that's going to fly. So it helps us to ensure that people making entries on the cells actually make the correct entries. Okay, and another very important thing that data validation can do for you is creating a drop down. So quickly again, we're going to try to create a drop down list of active or inactive. Okay, to be able to do that, I'm going to quickly also grab this table. I'll go to Excel and drop down with Control V, and I'll just go to here, highlight the cells I want to do data validation for. Click on data validation. I'll come to settings and I'll use list this time. And I'll do active. You separate your drop down with commas, active, then comma, inactive. All right. So I can just click OK for now. You know how to set the message already. So when the user comes here, they are seeing a drop down of active or inactive to select from. All right. So if they try to put something like something that is not on the drop down list, they see a message that says doesn't match the data validation restriction, or you can put a message just do what we did earlier for them to be able to understand the exact reason why it's being flagged. All right, so that's that for setting data validation. We've done for whole numbers, we've done for scores, we've done for specific text how to set those validation for text. You can also do for date of birth. You can say that it must be less than or equal to today. So there are a lot of rules, even text length. There are lots of rules you can set using data validation. All right, so you just go practice and then try to get better with data validation rules in Excel. So it's one of the important things that when you learn in Excel, you are good to go. All right, thank you, and see you soon.